One of the best ways to engage students with the interactive whiteboard is to have them actively participate in the lesson by coming to the board and using the pens for drawing and writing. Let's start with a simple application of this by writing some kanji on the board. Before you start, it's probably a good idea to bring one of the students up to the board and have them touch it to show a couple of tips just for writing in general. First one being not to lean on the board with your hand or your wrist while you're writing, and just touch it with the tip of your pen or your finger. And the second one is to always press firmly and keep an even pressure as you go. One of the ongoing learning tasks students have when they're learning Japanese is how to write kanji for new words and so on as they learn them. So modelling that on the interactive whiteboard and then having the students come and write up on the board as well can be a really good way of involving them in creating even a learning resource that they can refer back to later. So this is what we do to do that. Before you start, here's a tip. If you're going to model some writing or some drawing on the board, sometimes a thicker line style is better. So once you pick up your pen, click on the Properties tab in the top right of the board or on the left here, and have a look at the line style that's currently in place for that pen. Now I'm thinking I might make this a little bit thicker, so I'm going to choose the next line thickness just by touching it. So now when I start writing my character, it'll be a nice thick line which is quite forgiving. So I'll do it in the centre of my page nice and large so that the students can see clearly what I'm doing, and I might talk aloud my thinking as I'm doing it, talking about going around the corner and making it nice and curved, then a left to right line across the top, and then again across the bottom but making it longer. So having made my character and modelled it for the students, it would be really nice now to make that smaller so that the students still have it there to refer to while they come up to the board and have a go themselves. So to do that, we can group all of those lines by selecting them all. If you touch the board just above the top left corner of the first one and drag across, they'll all get selected. Then choose any one of the drop-down arrows and then the grouping option. So now those three objects have become one, which I can resize and make smaller with the corner handle, and I can put it up the top here so the students who are going to come up to the board can still see it and refer to it, but it's not in their way. While some students are coming to the board and writing the character up here to practice and model, the rest of the class might be doing the same thing with their pen or pencil on paper at their desks. As the teacher wanders around, they'll no doubt find someone who's doing a really good job of making this character, and having them come to the board to show the rest of the students what they're doing and capturing that as a recording creates a learning resource that the rest of the class can refer back to later. To do that, over here in the Properties tab, you'll see there's a box called Page Recording. And when I touch that, it gives me two buttons, one to start recording what's being drawn on the board, and then there'll be one to finish when I've finished it. So let me just show you what to do with that. Picking up the pen, so I'm a student now who's coming up to the board. We'll start the recording, and whatever the student writes on the board in drawing their character is recorded and saved as part of this page. So there we are, we've got our kanji for the number 5. Now we can stop recording. You'll see at the bottom of the page there now is a little control bar, and when I press the play button on that, it plays what the student has written on the board. At any time I can pause that if I want to perhaps copy it onto my paper as I'm doing it, or talk about it or whatever, and keep playing. So it's like a little video of what was written on the board. Repeating this process, say for the other numbers 1 to 10, means that you can make an interactive learning resource where the students have helped create the pages, one for each number perhaps, and if that's saved and stored somewhere centrally, perhaps on the school intranet, it's a resource the students can refer back to while they're learning how to write new characters. So it's a really nice way of involving the students in the learning, creating something of value that they can use at some time in the future as they need to, or for students that might not be there on the day that you're doing this work.